February 17th, 2006. During a night training flight, 2 US Marine helicopters collide off the Horn of Africa. 10 American servicemen are killed. Only 2 pilots from one of the aircraft survive and must swim to shore.
We'd gotten to the shore and we had, that's when the adrenaline wore off, and we kind of were trying to collect ourselves, but there was a mountain behind us, so there was no way to communicate with anybody. We were kind of out in the middle of nowhere. We weren't sure when. It was about 20 minutes into the flight that it happened, so we didn't know when we were going to be found. We'd had some significant injuries. I had with both my legs, so I was kind of immobile.
Armed and in uniform, 5 men emerged from the dark. They spoke only French.
We weren't immediately sure about their intentions, but we knew it was really our own hope, so we just kind of took a leap of faith and started yelling and saying help. I know I was saying help a lot, and we had shot off one more flare to get their attention, but then they came up to us, and it was almost immediate that we could tell that they didn't have ill intentions, and they were friendly, and that it was really my ray of light in really my darkest day.
The soldiers were hurt. I could tell the girl was very scared, so I offered her some water. We knew we had to get them to safety, so the 2 of us carried her. We walked for 4 kilometers.
By then, the US had sent another helicopter to extract their injured.
We put them on their helicopters and never saw them again. I was very sad and worried about Susan, the pilot. I hope she would be okay.
Over the years, YOUSSOUF learned English and wrote a letter to find out what happened to Susan. The letter reads, "I took her hand, my sister, and I picked up her body." YOUSSOUF walked around with this letter in his pocket for years, approaching various US servicemen and women and asking if they knew of the crash in 2006 and the fate of Susan, the pilot. Someone from the Marines' old unit finally recognized the date and names and contacted Susan on Facebook.
Susan?
Yes. Hello. Now, 8 years later, almost to the day, Susan and her co-pilot get to thank their rescuers face to face.
Personally, I've wondered about these men, my family and I, for 8 years now, and we never expected to get the opportunity to actually meet them. It's overwhelming, and it's very humbling.
The rescuers were honored at the highest level and all received promotions.
That is just being a hero, and no one asked them to do that. And they didn't care they didn't know who was on that aircraft. They were just doing it out of the kindness of their heart to assist somebody. And I think it's about time that we actually rewarded them. And at the same time, this just shows the Djiboutians that we really care, and we don't forget when people do great things for our country that we're going to be here to assist them as well.
And while the 2 survivors will forever remember those who died in the crash, they can also now remember an act of kindness from men who are no longer strangers. Robyn, Kriel, Camp Lemmonier, Djibouti.
Know more about your world. eNCA.com